Walk up in this bitch like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, bitch, I'm really him, on God. Walking this bitch like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, bitch, I'm really him, on God.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Rush. It is your boy, Maxx Crosby, in the building. I got my brothers with me, Brogan Roback, Darian Terrell. And today we have a very, very special guest. Number 3 overall pick, Bay legend, 1997 Gatorade Player of the Year, UCLA alum. I mean, you talk about legendary childhood memories. I'm going to talk about the dunk on AK-47. We'll get to that later in the show. But with all that being said, 2-time All-Star, I think you should have been way more All-Stars than that. But we have the legend, Baron Davis, in the building. Welcome to the show, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me, man. I watched the show. You know, y'all be going at it. Y'all keep it real on here.
Yeah,
we got some good shit. I'm happy, man. Thank you for having me on this show.
Bro, anytime. And you know, last year we got to meet each other. I was telling these guys about it our first time, you know, linking up. And it was at the Clippers game.
Yep.
And, you know, me, like I'm a basketball fiend. All of us in here, we're all big basketball fans. So, you know, walking out the tunnel, I remember seeing you and I'm like a kid. I'm talking to Rachel. I'm like, Baron Davis. I'm like, what? That's Baron Davis. And you came up to me and like, bro, Maxx Crosby. What? I'm like, what? I was like, you're Baron Davis.
You're my Raider, bro.
Bro, I'm telling you. So just having that first interaction, I was like, this shit is crazy. But the amount of respect that, you know, everybody has for you in the Raider Nation, obviously being a huge part of it, being a diehard Raider fan since day one, just being a legend, you know, in your own right. I think about NBA Street Volume 3, you know, throwback, like my favorite childhood game, you being on the cover. Like, so you showing that love to us was unbelievable. But we're going to start this show off. You know, we do this, we start our new segment. And we like to get it popping right off the start, you know, right off the start of the show. So it's basically, we just call it the 2-minute drill. It's called this or that. And we're just going to hit you with this or that. And you got to answer. It can be as long as you want. It can be a long answer. It can be short-winded, whatever you want to do. But we're going to get right to it. So starting off heavy, Warriors or Clippers?
Damn.
Yeah. Yes. 2 weeks in a row.
Damn. That's heavy.
Charles Woodson game
That's
too.
heavy. Man. It's like, you know, pick your poison, right? I mean, those are my 2 favorite teams to, you know, if the bracket work out, I think that they meet in the conference finals. You know, we know that the Warriors and the Clippers had a little funk, you know, the Blake, the Draymond, the Warriors with the championships, the Clippers with the most talented team in the league at the time. And so there could be a little rivalry that can be rekindled. Man, the Warriors are playing so great. They're playing great basketball. You know, what Dre is doing, Jimmy Butler helping Steph doing Steph work, but also Moses Moody, GP, Looney, everybody participating, I think, for the Warriors. Santos, all those dudes, all those role players are really starting to like crystallize and make the Warriors a solid contender. And then you look at the Clippers side and you say, man, damn, they got Kawhi over there. Kawhi and the beard over there, they clicking up, right? And the way Norman Powell been playing all year, right? You know, he should have got a bigger consideration for All-Star. He'll probably get a big consideration for Most Improved Player. But like, then you got, man, you talked about this, Maxx. You got Bogdanovich, you know, and then whatever you can get from Ben Simmons, I always say whatever you can get from Ben Simmons. If he just show up and say, "Hey man, I'm a basketball player today," if he just go hard in the layup lines, you know what I mean? Like if he just go hard in the layup lines and give us, just five across the board. Like we're not asking for a triple double. We asking for 5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 or 4 assists, couple steals and a block. So like the expectation for what a Ben Simmons talent can do for the Clippers, and you're looking at Zubac, who another candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. Derrick Jones. I know that's your squad, Maxx, right? The Clippers, your squad. So I would kind of say, you got to pick your poison on that one. Those are my teams that are going to meet in the Western Conference Finals.
I love that. That's a bold prediction, but I think it's accurate. I mean, 2 sleeper teams that have come on real strong lately. But we like to come out in the 2-minute drill with some heavy hitting questions to keep try to stump our guests. So I think we did a decent job of that.
That was good.
Yeah, we got a few more for you. So MJ or LeBron?
Yeah. Okay, so here's my answer to this. Right? Art and artists, right? You enjoy their art for how they paint. So there's no real either or. I mean, for me, I would say I'm more MJ, right? Because when I look at MJ, like this fool painted, the Michelangelo.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like LeBron is painting in modern day time, right? And so he painting his own, his own collection of art and his art piece. But when you look at, I mean, for me, I like MJ, right? Kobe paint a different way. LeBron paint a different way from MJ. But if it's for me to pick, I'm going to always go with Jordan because I just feel like he created the Michelangelo.
Yeah. I love that. You just hurt some feelings over here, with some of our Ohio boys.
And it's not saying like who's better or who's greater, right? Because when you look at LeBron's body of work, right, it could be, Picasso-esque.
Yeah.
Right? Like LeBron to me is like a Picasso, like everywhere he show up, just, his presence, his autograph, his being on the team is going to elevate, and so he did it a different way than Jordan, right? And he had a different journey. But like, as far as Mount Rushmore, it's like pick your poison. Once again, it's like pick your poison. I like how he paint. I like the music Michael Jordan make. I like how LeBron move. It's just a preference, really at that point when you comparing greatness, because you can go through, who has the better skill set? It's really what you like watching and how you like watching somebody get down, right? That's and that's what sports do, Maxx. Like that's what you do for me, the kids, all the Raider fans. It's like you bring an emotion, you bring a feeling to where it's like, damn man, like it's almost like a POV. It's like I know what he on. Right, I know what Maxx Crosby on before the game, the day before the game. As a Raider fan, it's Thursday. We don't play till Sunday. I'm like, shit. I don't have no defense for my fantasy, but I know Maxx Crosby gonna show up, right? And so, like, when you hit somebody, we hit somebody. You know what I mean? When you talking shit, we talking shit. And so I think that's the same thing when you get it with a LeBron or Jordan. And people gonna keep going back because it's all about the feeling they had. Growing up as a Michael Jordan fan, it was like the feeling of the impossible, right? The drama of television, like the end of like, how does he hit the last shot in the championship for his damn near final shot? And he should have just ended it, like he came back. But like, think about like that historic ending, and then, think about LeBron coming back from 3-1. It's like you're watching like your favorite superhero character in your favorite movie. And so you can't really compare at that point, whether it's Iron Man, Wolverine, Batman, Spider-Man, everybody got a preference, you know?
Yeah, they're still superheroes.
Yeah, they're still superheroes.
That's probably the best take on it that I've heard. Because you can't, like, who are we to get mad about that opinion? Because it's not, well, Jordan did this or LeBron can't do this. That's a perfect take on it. Is like they're both art forms and they're both the best at what they do. Which one do you like the most?
Yeah, it's literally off preference. Like if you want to go off stats, you can pick Kareem and LeBron and you know what I mean? If you want to go off rings, you want to go off moments, there's so many different aspects. It's literally impossible to answer that question, in one way. So I think that was one of the better MJ LeBron, because our arguments are just screaming at each other.
Rogan wasn't even triggered.
Jordan, no,
he nodded his head.
Man, it's an
100%.
argument with my boy every day. Whether social media, he is like LeBron. He number one LeBron.
Yeah.
Every time he sees something, whether it's social media or text, he got to say something about LeBron just being the greatest ever.
That's my kind of guy right there.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. It's Tuesday, 9:30.
9:30 in the morning.
Nobody plays today. Yeah, Jordan retired. It ain't going to happen. They'll never play one-on-one.
Never. Fellas, let's talk about something serious for a second. Did you know that every single hour a man is diagnosed with testicular cancer? That's wild. It's the most common cancer among men aged 15 to 35, yet it is something that nobody really wants to talk about. That's why I want to shout out Manscaped, who's stepping up in a big way. They've partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society and are donating $50,000 to help raise awareness and encourage self-checks. And to take it a step further, they had just released the TCS Ball Here Bundle, which I have to say is next level. Now, I've been using Manscaped for a while, and let me tell you, their grooming tools have seriously upgraded my routine. But this new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra TCS Special Edition, it's a game changer. It's got a fresh purple design in honor of testicular cancer awareness. It's cordless, waterproof, and comes with 2 skin-safe blade heads, including a foil blade for that super smooth finish. Plus, the LED light helps navigate those tricky spots. Because let's be honest, precision matters down there.
And after you're all cleaned up, Manscaped has you covered with their special edition TCS Boxers 2.0. Super comfortable, anti-chafing, and featuring the jewel pouch, my personal favorite, for maximum support. Seriously, these things could feel like second skin.
Oh, and they even include a reminder to check yourself, because taking care of the boys is about more than just comfort. So here's the deal. Support men's health and upgrade your grooming game today. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you use my code THERUSH at manscaped.com. And remember, by grabbing the bundle, you're not just treating yourself, you're helping raise awareness for testicular cancer. So don't wait. Head to manscaped.com/TCS to learn more. And let's spread the word about men's health together. Get 20% off with the code THERUSH at manscaped.com. God bless America.
Did you see, I'm curious, Baron, did you see Shaq say that the NBA is so soft nowadays? That's a huge reason, or pretty much the only reason why LeBron's longevity has been, such a factor. Do you agree with that by chance?
I would say there was an era where basketball was considered non-contact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yes.
we pushed the brand so far away from defense, right? That it became more high-end entertainment. I mean, you look what Steph has done. Everybody's shooting threes. So the game is not a physical game no more. It's a finesse game.
Yeah.
Somebody with power, like LeBron, with power, skills, and finesse, he's going to be able to transcend that because he doesn't just shoot threes. He comes from a different era.
Yeah.
And so you get better with age, believe it or not, right? But in sports, sometimes, it's like AAU, like owners don't believe in a 40 and under league, right?
Yeah.
They want it to be 35, 37. And if you look at Steph at 37, Bron in his age, like, long as these dudes stay healthy, they're going to continue to kill because there's going to be young dudes coming in the league. The league gets younger and younger, and it's going to take them a while to catch up. And so there ain't been nobody that came along that's like, yo, I'm about to retire LeBron.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
And you can say something like just about his presence and his aura that, when Jordan was coming in the league, like when we were coming in the league for Jordan, it was like the same kind of thing. It was like, man, we ain't gonna retire Jordan, but he getting older, I'm about to get my clip off. You feel what I'm saying? Like, man, I'm about to have me a game in my life when my kids wake up, be like, yo, you want to see what I did to Jordan? You know what I mean? Like, I was Michael Jordan that night.
Yeah, you were.
But I don't think LeBron got that same thing, right? Because there's no team rivalries. There's no there's no rivalry. There's no rival for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. He has nobody in his era to really compare to, right?
For sure.
You can say, oh, it's the Golden State Warriors team or, Miami Heat, Toronto. Like, there's not really any strong narratives, in that space. But his age, right, is going to allow him to transcend because he's power. Until the league becomes physical again, then he won't get beat up. So he's not getting beat up, right? Where back in the day, as you get older, like, all right, keep going to the hole because there's young dudes that's coming into the league that's going to clobber you. And they talk like foul, right? They were, in one era, they were just drafting dudes who, could have 6 fouls when Shaq played. You know what I mean? Like, man, that's 6 fouls. I got 18 fouls. I just drafted and signed in the offseason because I got to play against Shaq.
It's like Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons. Bro, that shit kills me. I've seen somebody talking about him too. They're like, bro, I haven't seen one basketball highlight of Isaiah Stewart. I just see him trying to fight every motherfucker plays against. It's so real.
And he's a good player too.
He is. That's the thing.
He's a good player, but they don't show none of his highlights of what he doing, right? What he doing out here. But to him, he's making a name and a brand for himself. Right? If you look at, let's say, over the last 5 to 10 years, those guys are like PJ Tucker, Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
Those are the tough guys. Marcus Smart, the real defensive, now
it's Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan
Brooks. Stewart, players like that. But the league, I've been watching the games, man. The league is getting better because they're allowing them to play a little bit more.
Facts. I think it just goes in ebbs and flows too. It's like anything. Once it goes too far one way, it's like in the NFL. Like they took away, once the targeting stuff started happening, they started throwing a million flags, and then it kind of dialed back a little bit. It's just, I feel like there's just there's growing pains as far as how that goes. Like the refs want to throw it immediately out the gate, and then it kind of just dials back. So it's like anything else. But we got to continue this though. We got a few more questions. I know we can go all day. Want to keep you on track. We're gonna hit you with a couple more this or that questions. So March Madness or NBA playoffs?
Well, I got hurt in March Madness, so March Madness was crazy, but NBA playoffs, though, it ain't nothing like it.
Different.
Man, it ain't nothing like it. I mean, it's just shit. Yeah. It's just so intense, right? It's just like you smell the popcorn, right? You can tell what kind of temperature in there. Like, oh man, and for one, you just see backdrop. Everything is a backdrop. It's like finally that stage is lit where they see you see them, and nobody else around matter, right? And it's like, man, them lights is up. Yeah. Them lights is up. It's the fog. You on the road. They coming out in the fog tunnel. Oh man, come on, bring it on. Yeah. Let's get it cracking.
Hell yeah. No, that's, bro. I just think about, your guys' matchup immediately. I think about Dirk Nowitzki, MVP, number 1 seed, and y'all going in as an 8 seed and beating them. Like that was the first. Like I was talking to these boys before the pod, and that was the first time I ever placed a bet in my life, and it was with my dad. And y'all were one of my favorite teams, and I played with y'all on 2K, and I was like, Dad, the Warriors are going to beat the Mavs. I'm telling you, and he's like, bet me. I'm like, all right, bet. And we bet like $10 or something. And you guys end up beating them. And I still hold it over his head to this day. But like, what was your guys' like mindset going into that series? Because you guys were like the anomaly in the league. You had the Don Nelson, 7 seconds or less. Like, you guys really started that, which I don't think you guys get enough credit for. But what was your guys' mindset as a team? Because you guys had so many dogs on that roster and going into a hostile environment against MVP. Like, where were you guys at a mental, space? Were you guys super confident going into that series?
Man, we were so locked in. Nelly came to us after, like the first day of practice, and we all sitting there, on the court in Oracle, and he comes out and he walking fast as hell. Hey, bro, Nelly walking fast. He got swagger. We're like, hold on, bro. This can't be the same dude. He talking clear. Like, he is. It caught us off guard. He shocked the shit out of us because he was like, yo, we going to beat them. That's the first thing he said. We going to beat them. We going to be classy. And this is how we going to do it. And he was so matter of fact. He was so matter of fact, like, this is what we going to do. And plus, during the season, we was trying to find little things to motivate us to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
When Dallas didn't play, they peopled against us, right? Oh, man, we took that as like, you dodging the smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all just want us, y'all gonna let us in? Y'all gonna let us in? That's how y'all feel? Y'all gonna beat the Clippers because y'all don't want to match up against them. But then y'all gonna sit against us? That's how y'all feel? Y'all just gonna let us in? Y'all don't want to put us out? We rocking. Come on.
Yeah.
There's 2 games in the regular season. Hit us with your best shot. We ain't tripping.
Yeah.
And so once it was like, oh, we locked in with Dallas, we was like, okay, let's go. You got JT, you got Howard, you got Dirk, you got Devin Harris, you got Stackhouse. Them the only people that's going to beat you.
Yeah.
And they can beat you rebounding. And for us, we was just so locked in, like, man, we about to shock the world because they can't match up with us. And so we were scared, like not scared, but like scared, like nervous. This was like,
nervous. Hell yeah.
nervous. Like, but our nervous energy made us all like rally together. So we in Dallas watching game tape in the hotel, everybody ordering room service. Like, we just stuck together. Like, we were so close knit that every little detail, we was all just, we in the room watching film the night before the game. And everybody chiming in, telling, man, BD, you got to do this. Stack, hey, Matt, when you come in, like, we just sitting there just politicking with ourselves, knowing that when this time comes, oh, yeah, we got something to prove.
That's dope. And it's special, too, like being a part of one of those teams. Like, I was talking about this yesterday with one of my guys, and it was with Jonathan Hankins, former Raider.
Yep.
And I went on his pod, and we were just talking about it, like that 2021 year for us, like how close our group was and how we were able to overcome that adversity and everything. And it wasn't about the talent. It wasn't about the skill level. It was literally just like everybody was just on the same wavelength, and we did everything together, and it wasn't forced and it wasn't like manufactured. It was just like genuine. And that's a feeling you can't really explain. And once you have that and then it's gone, like that's like, for me, has been like my biggest thing is trying to get that feeling back, because once you have it, you know what I mean? Like, and you can see it, like that shit is, that's the missing ingredient that people from the outside just watching on TV don't understand. Like, how is this team on the same wavelength? How do they make it look so easy? It's like, because y'all are just all on the same wavelength the whole time. And that's dope, bro. I think people need to know, like, that's the key.
That is the key. And you know this, Max, is when you all figure out what you all share together, right? And we were vagabonds, misfits, on our way, kicked out, black sheep, and it was up to me, I would say, as like the vocal person, of the crew to let everybody know, hey man, we all on this pirate ship because everybody think we pirates. So let's go around and be pirates. You know what I mean?
Embrace
like
it.
let's go let's go find things that I remember the movie 300 came out. We all went as a team and saw 300. Then Stomp the Yard or something like that. One of them, and we was doing the dance too, right? And it was doing things that showed how people. It's a movie, right? Raiders going to the playoffs this year, right? You know why it's going to be a movie? Because you got a bunch of people that people counted out. And you got the leader of the team that nobody thought would get to this point. So his hunger is greater, right? And now you got Roberts coming in, Stokes coming in. They hunger got to be greater, right? Devin White, he get a chance. His hunger got to be greater. But like, what is it all that's connecting y'all? Everybody had a moment. Everybody had a great year, but also it's people have doubted you, right? And so the doubt in your past, the doubt now, like circle around that doubt because that's how you're going to hover because y'all going to get scared and you're going to start decreasing the doubt. You know what I mean? All together. You gotta suppress that bullshit, right? Because you're going to lose. You're going to lose some games. You're going to win some games you shouldn't, lose some games, and then you're going to have practices you don't want. But it's like if y'all all come together to like decrease that doubt, that's how you know you got some good going forward. And that's what we had, right? We was all like, shit, man, this could be our last stop. But if it is, let's go party.
Yeah.
That's what they think about us. Let's go party, you know?
Let's go out with a bang. Fact.
And that was our mentality.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Rush here again. And you've heard us talking about MoonPay before. And yeah, we are bringing it up again because why? It's that good. The MoonPay app is incredibly user-friendly for buying and selling crypto. It's clean, it's fast, it's easy to use, there's no headaches. Funny enough, last week, Brogan lost a bet to me. What's new? I told him I don't accept cash, I don't accept Venmo, I only accept MoonPay. So he had to settle up with me through MoonPay, and now his debt's clear. But here's the most thing people don't realize. MoonPay powers the entire world of crypto. MoonPay is like PayPal of cryptocurrency. Because just like you could use PayPal to buy anything on the internet, well, now you can just use MoonPay to buy anything in cryptocurrency. Seriously, nearly every crypto app that you're using or thinking about using uses MoonPay to let you buy crypto with your favorite payment methods, including credit cards, debit cards, Venmo, and even PayPal. Basically, MoonPay is your passport for the world of cryptocurrency. You only need one MoonPay account to transact in the entire ecosystem.
And here's an awesome MoonPay partner you need to know about, okay? BitPay. It's the bridge that connects your crypto holdings to real-world spending. You just heard mine. With BitPay, you can buy, store, swap, and spend cryptocurrency all in one app. Plus, you can turn Bitcoin into dollars using the BitPay crypto debit card and earn cash back automatically. It just makes living your life on crypto so much easier. Remember, while MoonPay makes buying crypto straightforward, it's important to do your own research and understand the risks that are involved. Crypto trading can be unpredictable, and you could lose your investment. MoonPay is a tool to facilitate your transactions, not a source of financial advice. Trade responsibly.
To the moon!
Maxx took us to NBA All-Star Weekend this past year out in the Bay, and we finally got to check it out and just kind of see how crazy Raiders fans are, how even just sports fans in general, everybody out there is truly. So for me to you, just what was it like being a professional athlete in the Bay Area? And would you recommend it to anybody else up and coming?
Come on, man. Hey, man, that's the best fan base, right? The best fan base, the best area for sports, to be a sports star, to be a normal person, to be the person you want to be when you grow up. You talking about as an LA person, you know, the Bay Area accepted me, knowing I'm from LA, but like brought me in as one of them.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to be in tech, got embraced by the tech community. I wanted to be in investment, got embraced by the investment community. I wanted to be in movies, right? People supported, you know, my creative endeavors, right? And then all along when I'm walking down the street, you know, south of Market in San Francisco to go get lunch, and people like, yeah, what's up, BD? We need this win. It ain't nothing obnoxious. when nobody's circling and hovering around you. There are no groupies, you know what I mean? Like it's just, man, like
One
the
with the
women,
people.
man, the women like, yo, let's go, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
It ain't groupies. They like, yo,
Different
come
energy.
on, man. What are you doing? You gotta put on for the city. And that's the love. You know, it's big love. They love their athletes.
Yes.
And they love their
100%.
teams, man.
100%. That's dope.
Maxx, no, they love Maxx. Maxx
What?
Maxx is a celebrity, so Maxx couldn't move around without having
That's
people
you,
follow him around all star.
No, that's you. But no, the love out there is crazy, bro. They you know, they were with me out there. It's a different type of environment. And like me coming from, you know, being in Michigan, the Midwest for so many years, and then going to the Bay, like it was like a total culture shock. Like just the energy and how people talked and how people moved. It was like the love was so genuine, and they will do anything. Like their whole life revolves around Raider football. Like it's their lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like it's not like you can't even explain it. Like people's whole identity is being a fan, and like that shit is so dope. It makes you want to even go harder. You know what I mean? And put on for the fans. So yeah, the Bay Area is legendary.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like you guys, when you played specifically, I was just telling Max and Darian before this, my first NBA game I ever went to was Pistons when it was the Palace back in the day.
Oh, wow.
And it was you and Jay Richardson just going nuts in there. And I remember just looking at me like, the Warriors, like I never even heard of them at that time. And
That was what we believe here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first game back from an injury. Yep. We going to Detroit, and Nelly literally 2 days before got us in the huddle and was like, "You know what, guys? We'll see what we got next year. We don't care what happens. This season is over, dude." Seriously, he was like, "This season is over," and I had missed the Washington game. We had lost by like 1 point. Gilbert Arenas had some got a fluky foul. But we needed that. Like we felt, if we get this game, like we could prove to coach that he's wrong, right? And like we can make a playoff push because we had Detroit next. So we had to get Washington because we knew like Detroit is Detroit. And that was the game. We beat the shit out of Detroit, man. We manhandled them. And it was like, it wasn't even like we caught them off guard. They couldn't beat us. Like we could hang with them. And we were like, damn, dude. Oh shit. If we can play like this at Detroit, in Detroit, no matter what they was doing, we was on them.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop us. That kind of time. That was the game that turned our season around.
Hell yeah. And it's crazy. It's like when you look for a car, right? And you're like, man, I've never seen this car before. But then you pay attention, you start looking around, and you're like, man, that car is everywhere I'm looking. That's like how I felt when I saw that game with you guys. Because after that, every time I turn on ESPN or SportsCenter Top 10, there goes BD or there goes Jay Rich. It's like y'all were just making plays. Like, and it was awesome to watch. But I want to ask you, do you feel like you and Jay Richardson were low-key one of the most underrated duos in NBA history?
I mean, we didn't get enough time, man. The messed up part about it is they traded Jay Rich the next year. And I always say this is like, if you don't know who has the heart and the soul of the team, it was not me. It was not Steven Jackson. It was not Matt. It was not Al. It was Jason Richardson.
Yeah.
We were all there, Max. We were all there because Jason Richardson had been through so much bullshit. And so when we got there, like, he was the Don. And the organization didn't know that as a team, that's the Don. Jay Rich is the Don. Yeah. If we the Corleone family, he's the Don. He's been here the longest. He's been through the most bullshit. We got to get to the playoffs because of Jay Rich.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason. When we started making our move, it was like, man, Jay Rich be like, man, I had 6 coaches in 7 years and 7 coaches in 6 years. We're like, what? Man, I ain't never been to them. I just want to be in the playoffs. I said, Jay Rich, man, when you get in the playoffs, bro, you going to have 40.
Yeah.
I already know. And so, and then Jack is like, oh, Jay Rich, when you get in the playoffs, and then Al started talking about it, and then Matt started talking about it. And all of a sudden, we're like, man, Jay Rich ain't been to the playoffs. Like, bro, we got to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because Jay Rich going to go for 40. You know what I mean? Like,
we want to see
like,
it.
hold on, we got a cheat code if we get to the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got a hella cheat code. And when you took Jay Rich away, you ripped us. Like, what did we cut? Like, yeah, we had the swagger, but we lost our soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't think me and Jay Rich had enough time. I should have went and played with him in Charlotte, but Jay Rich, yes, very, very underrated. I think we are an underrated duo. Yeah, that was my guy, dude.
Damn,
he was
that's
like the
tough.
first shooting guard, and no disrespect to all the other shooting guards, but he was the first shooting guard I played with that was a real shooting guard, 6'6", shooting guard size. Like every other guard that I played with, I was usually the bigger of the David Wesley. I was the bigger of the two guards, Daryl Armstrong, people like that.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. You don't even know. Like most people probably don't know that, just the history of that, because I mean, it's crazy you just brought that up. I mean, I don't think any us three knew about that, like the history that he had to go through. It definitely had hit the soul a little bit, because I can, you know what I mean, going through it. Like that's real though. But I think that's where some front offices miss badly, when they start looking at it from an analytical side instead of who's the soul, who's the heart and soul of this team. You know what I mean? And if you get rid of that, I don't think people realize how big of a miss that is until it's gone. You know what I mean? And how valuable it is until he's gone. So that's crazy, because y'all were rocking too. Like having Monte come off the bench,
and won a championship.
Bro, what? Y'all had scores.
Team together, and then just tried to do some shit on the side, add a few free agency pieces on the outer rim, but like
get some dudes off the bench or something, you know?
Come on, man. We had a sick core 7-8. We only needed to sign a couple big dudes or some athletic dudes or another fast point guard. Like we could have mixed it up, right?
Maxx.
We did not have to give up Jay Rich, and we gave up Jay Rich for Brandon Wright.
Damn.
I can already see the comments right now. They're saying, who? No offense at all.
That's crazy.
His face says it all.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's no words needed.
It's like, man, how do you go back the next season coming off We Believe? And you're like, wait. You looking, you know what I mean? You looking at the draft, after the draft, free agency. You're like, man, shit, we was right there.
Fuck. And y'all played Utah well too, bro.
We played Utah well. We ran out of gas in Utah, and we could play against San Antonio. So we also kind of like had San Antonio number, right? We're a matchup problem for them. And we played the Lakers well.
I was going to
say,
like,
man, we needed size, right? Because we thought we was getting KG.
If y'all would have got KG, it's a wrap.
We thought we was getting everybody thought we was getting KG. Then they was like, well, we don't know if KG want to come, but we got to get size. And so they were like, yeah, we trading. We thought if they were going to trade Jay Rich, it was going to be a trade to where we were going to get Kevin Garnett. That's what they was telling us. We don't get Kevin Garnett, but somebody got to get traded. So we didn't know who was on the block, right? But we knew, like, if anybody, they was gonna probably want Jay Rich.
Damn.
And then they wanted to play, but I think it was Rod Higgins finessing. I think Rod Higgins was in Charlotte, and he used to be the GM, and I think he finessed, the Warriors for I think we had the 8th pick or something like that. Oh man, it was terrible. It was we drafted Brandon Wright. Who? He wasn't even ready, and no knock on him. He wasn't ready to his 6th. Imagine that. He not ready to really play to his 6th or 7th year.
Damn.
You drafted him young, and it's like you're not drafting a young dude that's coming in to be the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or to help the franchise move forward, right? And then we lose our franchise heart and soul, the dude that, he should have been there the whole way out.
Yeah.
He should have, the loyalty clause should have been, this dude is, this dude is staying.
Yes. I think that's interesting. You said it earlier too. You're talking about like it takes like the young dudes, it takes a minute to get used to the game because we've talked about it, Max, obviously, but like same with football. College football is not played the same way as it is in the league. It's almost like it's the same sport, but it's like boxing, UFC, right? There's hand-to-hand combat, but they're different. And I feel like it's kind of like that in the NFL, obviously, and then obviously NBA. But like, what do you think's the biggest difference between college basketball to NBA basketball?
The training, the travel, the time alone. Then the game, right? And so, basketball, it ain't like you got to learn a lot of plays and shit. But if none of these plays are written for you or written to your talent, then you have to figure out those plays and then figure out how to navigate to make your talent shine in whatever is going on with the coach. So when you're a young dude, it's hard because you coming from college like, oh, I was the man, or I was just number two, or anytime I get the ball, like you can think more about yourself because you were the person coming into the game being the motor. Now you already got dudes on the team that can do that does that for a mighty long time. So your development is really like if you ever see a player get drafted high and they don't make no progress from year 1 to year 2, chances are they're not going to pan out.
Facts.
To reach their full potential. Unless it's a situation where it's like a Jermaine O'Neal that's just sitting behind it, Rasheed Wallace and Dale Davis, right?
Yeah.
Like nowadays, like these kids got like a 2-3 year window to figure out like who they are and what they're going to be. Right. Yeah. And so I think that's the difference is when you come into the league is you got to adjust to all the other great players and dope players. And then you got to adjust to the disgruntled dudes. And then you got to find the right vet. Then you got to know how to work out right. Then you got to know, like, how do you got to have the wherewithal to know how to improve. Yeah. And when you've been entitled and pampered and, and when adversity hit, you don't know how to go and like go in the tool shed and start working with some new tools, right? Now you become confused.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these young guys, that's why you see such great turnovers. Like, man, what happened to this kid? What happened to that kid? He was a high draft pick. It's like it's hard to trust. It's hard to trust drafting talent if you cannot see it. And for the last 10 years, a lot of the draft has been based on potential.
Yeah, facts.
Right? And development, right?
Yeah.
And if you see a lot of these dudes that had the potential or were being developed, like they didn't quite turn out.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hit or miss. It's really hit or miss.
Yep.
There's so many guys. Like, I mean, we mentioned Ben Simmons earlier, but like you look back at, I mean, you look at like Colin Cowherd and these guys are like, LeBron, step aside. It's Ben Simmons time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they legit thought he was about to be that. And, no knock on him, but like you can't predict it. Like you don't know what's up here. And you don't know when you give somebody $100 million or $200 million, how they're going to continue to work and adjust and keep growing because you have to be intentional with how you work. I think that's you're spot on about that. Like everybody's going to work hard to an extent, but like, what's your intentionality with everything you do? How am I going to get to this next step? How am I going to get in better shape? And have a full game plan? If you don't have that, like you're just there. You know what I mean?
You're just playing, right? And how many dudes do we know on the team that's like got game and just play basketball or just play football? Yeah. And then how many dudes do you know that's like, damn, I really, really, really want that spot. There is a top 20 in my category, and I need to be in the top 10. Yeah. Not everybody wants to do that.
It's a small amount. It really is. Most guys are out there just doing what everybody else is doing. That's real shit.
Yep.
That's real shit. Yep. Football, basketball, whatever it is, they're just doing what the crowd's doing. But the special ones stand out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No doubt.
I mean, it's tough when when you are good, you get paid for being good, then you're like not good anymore is because you were playing good to make money. Yeah. Right? And not playing good to reach your potential. And so a lot of times you see these guys have those 1 year, 2 year, get a big deal and disappear. That's the same reason. It's like, man, I was playing good because I locked in for these 2 years to be a better player. And then you say, what happened? Well, I just locked the fuck out because now I get to live like how my OG was, right? It's like, you know, every time it's going to always be something else and not that something.
All right, Condor Cartel, let's talk about Game Time, the official ticketing partner of The Rush. And honestly, it's my go-to for last-minute tickets. I'll tell you a quick story. Just last week, Brogan and I were hanging out. March Madness was going on up the road in Cleveland, Ohio, and we needed to catch the games. I pulled up Game Time and then, boom, scored insane last-minute deals on great seats. The prices actually dropped closer to Game Time, which meant was more cash for food, drinks, team merch. The best part, Game Time makes it effortless. The app shows all the prices up front. No surprise fees. You can even see what the seat view is before you buy it. No guessing, no stress. They also have zone deals where you pick the section and Game Time finds you the best seats for a killer price. It's the easiest way to get in on the action, whether it's MLB, NBA, concerts, comedy, or theater. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THERUSH for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code THERUSH for $20 off. Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. What time is it? Game time! I know that you were just on Draymond's show, and you guys talked about the rift or the divide between the generations, the current players and previous players. Is that something that you think will ever go away, like a mutual respect between the two? Or, you know, people like Shaq that's throwing jabs, and then you got Draymond who's outspoken. It's just something that's just going to compile and continue to spread apart.
I love it. I think part of it you need it, right?
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't have the Jordan versus LeBron debate.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be more, right, of these discussions. So you actually go deeper and have to have deeper dives on other players that are in the era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my thing with Dre is, and I think on the show, it was older players respect the evolution of the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some are disgruntled maybe because of the pay and how they get paid for how they play.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. A lot of them are, you know, disgruntled or maybe hate because of how they get paid, because of how they play, because of how the times are, because everything is catered to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you take all that shit away. Let's talk pure basketball. Can Maxx Crosby, or football, let's do it like that. Can Maxx Crosby grow up in the 1970s, right? No trainer. You feel what I'm saying? Like, only 2 people in your family believe that you're a football player and maybe say, hey, you should play football. Like, because it's not a job that people want, right? Yeah. And so that's the same thing with basketball. Is like, it has to be a respect for the talent is the same. The skill sets are the same. It's just an evolution of how it's being showcased. And these younger guys now, remember, they are getting a lot of accolades and breaking records and shit, and they're not proven talent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So now, like, they're like, oh, anybody can score 40 back then. Well, shit, anybody can score 40 in the 70s, in the 80s. There were dudes who are capable of scoring 40 that don't get to play. But I think the respect thing comes from, like, the older generation has to understand that there's an evolution and you should appreciate what your younger self looks like. And then the younger generation should have a better respect because you should dial back into your history. In order to become a one-on-one, you got to copy the greats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's why we now are not like, ooh, like we don't like they're not super, like the basketball players are not superheroes unless you Steph, unless you LeBron, right? Joker, right? Yeah. You know,
Brogan.
People like that. You gotta like name 5 superheroes in the NBA right now that you're like, dude, this dude is
Like Giannis
whole
too.
nother level.
Giannis
He's
is
on a whole
another
nother level.
Yeah.
Right.
So you think if they have the respect for the older generation for being the pioneers and looking up to them at some point, laying the foundation with a lack of resources, so to speak, like you said, no trainer, not a whole lot of belief behind you, not the money really wasn't ideal compared to what it is now, so you feel like if the newer generation just has that appreciation, do you think that's enough to kind of bridge that gap?
Yeah, I think, just respecting, the fact that there was a you before you.
Yeah.
You don't have to respect everybody, right? Because you wouldn't, right? Like, I don't respect everybody because not everybody is deserving of that, right?
Yeah.
Or may have not treated me right, or I don't like the game,
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you got to respect the fact that there was a you before you.
Yeah.
And if you want to be great or reach, close to your greatest potential, there was always a you before you. So you should study the past. Like, if I don't study Clyde Frazier, I don't have some of that cadence in my game and my essence.
Yep.
If I don't study and know Earl to Pearl Monroe, I even went back and had old Oscar Robertson tapes. I was like, man, I got to find tapes on Oscar Robertson. So y'all got to show me what the he was doing.
Killing
And
shit.
dude, he had 60 points going right hand, dribble baseline, 15-foot pull up. I worked on that move the entire summer and used it the next year where I became an all-star. And it was like, he's just dribbling with his right hand, but I'm mixing it up knowing that he got to a spot and can raise.
Yep.
And so you got to see who you are. If you want to be an original, a one-on-one in a mode, right? Like, there's so many different modes like that you're not going to fit in, but you can step in because they cast such a big light. You know how much capacity you got to feel, right?
Yeah.
Reggie White's, you know what I mean?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, all these dope people in your space, like, they done already made it.
Yeah, facts.
Right. So, like, imagine how much capacity you can grab, Max.
Yeah.
And then your mode, you may break out of their mode because you don't play like that.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I can see flashes, I can see homages, and then the greats, and then the legends, they gonna recognize that and say, man, you remind me of myself. That is the most flattering thing.
Hell yeah. That shit is real, bro. I want to real quick, Dan, just to piggyback off that, but I 100% agree. Like, I think the disconnect is like the arrogance of a young player who's like, they weren't even nice back then, really, blah, 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 blah. Or they couldn't compete with us nowadays. Like, I understand to a small degree kind of what they're saying, but you would never be in this position if you didn't watch this person and this person and this person. And like Rod Marinelli taught me that, one of the best coaches I've ever had, easily. And he started, like, our first meetings, we're talking history of football, like all the way back to Doug Atkins and I mean, John Randall, like individual drills, watching how they did it. And like, I'm taking little things. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this in individual. I'm gonna try to do these extra get-offs before practice. All right, I'm gonna do tight bags, like, and implement that into my game and create and make it my own. Like JJ Watt's another one. Like JJ Watt, I watch his film. Like, when I first started playing DN, I was a senior in high school, so I had no idea how to play DN. And I would watch JJ Watt highlights and Randy Gregory at Nebraska. Like, I'm like, how the fuck are these dudes making so many plays? Like the backside swim move. Like, that literally came from JJ Watt. Like, I watched him. How is he doing this all the time? Aaron Donald. So I think that's what the disconnect is. Like, you have to show your love and respect for those guys that did it first, because they were you at that time. You know what I mean? They were a version of you. You know what I'm saying? And like Michael Jordan, watch Michael Jordan's interviews when he was in his prime. He would always give credit back to, he would always give Larry Bird. The reason I'm here is because of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson and these guys. You know what I mean? They taught me how to take my game to the next level. So I believe, like, just the respect part of it is, like, I think that's that's where that disconnect comes from. So
yeah, man.
Totally
and
agree
like,
with you on that.
you think about it, like, no guard that you about to line up against is watching John Randall, or tackle is watching John Randall tape.
Yeah, facts.
They ain't never seen John Randall.
Hell no.
I used to be like, yo, these fools ain't seen Earl to Pearl, right? A lot of the dudes that I'm playing against ain't seen Earl the Pearl. So I'm about to just I would open the game, come down, and I just spin with nobody around me. They'd be like, what the fuck is he on?
Yeah.
And then I come spin again, then I catch you in the game. They'd be like, oh, like, damn, that's a cold spin move. I'm paying homage to Earl the Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
100%. That's dope. That's so dope.
And I love what you're doing with the lineman camp too, because that is also another part of it is like you have to teach what's being taught.
Yeah, facts.
And a lot of older dudes or veteran guys are not passing the knowledge on, or a lot of the veteran guys are not in the game enough to talk about the game, to paint that picture so those young dudes do go back, watch highlights, watch tape, figure out what kind of mode they want to be in. So it takes a combination of both. And it's a laziness, I would say, because on the older side, it's a laziness on our side. But it's also a laziness on the young people's side too.
Yeah.
But I would say it's more to their detriment, right? Yeah. Because you don't want to walk away from the game just thinking that it was just all about you. And like, you're not a professor. You don't have you working on your PhD in football, the history of the game, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be. We want to be experts in what we do and then what we know.
100%. Darian, you got one?
Yeah. Well, we got a couple, Bergen. I'll let you wrap it up after this one. But we're talking about the current players and younger players. When you came into the league, did you have a role model? Because when I say this, it's in the business sense, right? Because I look at your whole laundry list of businesses, investments, all of those things. You maximize being in San Francisco in the tech space. Did you have a role model that showed you the blueprint that you kind of replicated, or is that something that somebody outside of the NBA kind of taught you and you wanted to pursue?
Yeah, I would say inside out. There were obviously Magic Johnson growing up here in LA and seeing what he was doing on his journey. Mm-hmm. Then you hear the Junior Bridgman stories.
Yeah.
While you're in the league, of all the things that he's owning and how he's acquiring Wendy's. I would say when I got to Charlotte, rest in peace and shout out to Senator Marshall Rouse, who just passed away, I want to say a couple months ago. He was 101 this year. And I remember my college coach played for the Hornets, and he was like, man, you got to meet this guy. He's a former senator, wrote state legislation laws. And so I sat down with him, and we would have lunch on Saturdays and talk finance. And then if I had a day off on Sundays, I spent with his family in Gastonia. And he played basketball at Duke. So it was like, Duke, UCLA, we used to always talk shit to each other. But his business was, real estate, the Christmas space, right? But I think if I did not have him in my life early, I wouldn't have taken the time to say, hey, here is a lesson in how to manage your own personal finances. Here's a lesson in, there are rich people everywhere in the world, and it's not just in LA and movies, right? You don't just make money in movies. And so I would say it was people like him, and then just other people just gravitating to, similar to basketball, right? You got to be a sponge, right? You just got to be a sponge. When I retired, I started rapping. And I didn't like rap and put out an album. I put out an album last year, putting out another one in a week.
Hell yeah.
But it was also like, you got to go and sit with the rappers. You got to sit with the greats. You got to sit with the young and upcomers, the ones in the middle, the dudes who making a living, the dudes who got a fan base of 1,500 to figure out who you want to be, like, and figure out your most. So that was always my mentality is while being in the league, that was going to be my college.
Hell yeah.
So 1 year, if I want to be an artist, I'm going to take a bunch of art classes and intern at an art space. And then hopefully I can get 4 or 8 credits, in life credits, right, to learn. So that's how it happened for me.
That's dope. Hell yeah.
That's super dope. I want to ask you, obviously, there's a lot of discussion now. Obviously, Bron, the GOAT, in my opinion, is the face of the NBA, has been for a long time. But for you, who do you
think
think is going to be the
Cutting
next
out.
face of the NBA?
But even our algorithm had cut his ass off.
You got cut off saying that.
What they stopped me in the middle of my Bron heat
Man,
up.
they froze.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
didn't like that statement.
The river said, fuck that. Yeah, we're done with that.
I just wanted your opinion, honestly, though, on who you think is going to be the next face of the NBA, because there's a lot of discussion around it. And would you want to be the face of the NBA at this point? I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yes. That means you winning, man. That means you the dog. That means you the lead dog.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, like Tim Duncan wasn't the face of the NBA, but he was the face of the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Like you in that you want to be in that upper echelon, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there is a one person that can do that, or like a one person that is going to be the next up, especially the way media is what it is. But even when you think about, you know, Kobe and Shaq, when they were the face of the NBA, it was Allen Iverson was the face of culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you just want to be one of them ones. And if they talking about you the face of the league, then that means you got game. And that means you just going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing because you want to chase a LeBron. You want to chase, like, who the want to chase LeBron? Who wants to retire LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we going to find out who the face of the league is. When we meet somebody that's like, you know what? I'm going to retire LeBron, Steph, Giannis, this is my terrain, you know, and I'm cool with everything that come with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know Anthony Edwards said that and made that statement, but then I also think that, you know, Anthony Edwards is playing for an organization that's never had a face of, that's never had a face of the league.
Yeah.
And so Kevin Garnett didn't become Kevin Garnett
Until he left.
until he went and played for the Boston Celtics, right? So you got to go play for some pedigree to understand that, you know, winning is going to put you where you want to be, and you're going to be the face of the league based on your talent and winning.
Yes.
Amen.
I love it.
Yeah.
Edward.
Yeah, it's like 10 to 12 guys, and it's always fluctuating because there's always like two big ass draft picks that come in. Like Wemby, Wemby's coming in now, and now you got Shea, and you got, there's so many young guys that are coming on. It's like it was supposed to be Zion, but Zion can't. It's not on the court ever. So, but it's like there's Cooper Flags coming up next.
Cooper Flag coming up, but he going to Washington. So what? Like,
yeah, that might.
What that look like?
We'll see. Pray to God he goes to like Detroit somehow or someplace like that. No, facts. All
right, so we have our rush mail questions. We have fan submitted questions, so they'll reach out. And this one here is from Jake Felucci. Wants to know, how do you fix the NBA dunk contest and get more prominent players to participate in it?
I think you just need to go back to the regular dunk contest showcase. I think you're trying to create a lot of entertainment value, but you should allow it to be like 8 dunkers, right? And you should give them the ample amount of time they need to dunk. And then if it's going to be a dunk contest, like if you're going to produce it as entertainment, then I think everybody loves a great competition. And what boils down to it is like, there's only 4 people dunking. And so you like, soon as you get into it, it's over.
Yeah, facts.
So there should be like elimination rounds or something like that where, okay, Matt McClung is already in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And you got 8 dudes trying to claim 3 spots to get in, to get into that. So I think that, because when the 3-point challenge, people never complain about that.
Yeah,
there's always like 12 dudes, and it's exciting because the more times people go, the more you want them to get the high score.
Yeah,
you're invested.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That boy Jesus says, "What was your favorite memory playing for the Warriors?"
My favorite memory playing for the Warriors is driving to Oracle, listening to my playlist, getting out my car, and getting ready to walk through that tunnel.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can't beat it.
Hell yeah.
And then I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name. But what is your all-time favorite moment as a Raiders fan, being from LA?
My all-time favorite moment as a Raiders fan would probably be Bo Jackson Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
When he dipped for like 2 90-yard runs. Oh my God. I was like, yo, I want to be Bo Jackson. At first I thought I wanted to be Marcus Allen.
Yeah.
I seen that Bo Jackson dude, and then the boss stepped up in the hole and he was like, man, excuse me. Who are you? Like, yo, we got one. Just don't let him play baseball. Don't play baseball in Kansas City. Ew.
Oh,
It's
We
crazy.
needed him on the Dodgers. We should have finessed some shit back then, dude.
that's true.
And then I would say my all-time moment, like most disappointing moment, was when Charles Woodson stripped Tom Brady, and that was a sack, and that just made me go all the way in hella hard. Raider fan, I was like, bro, they cheated the Raiders. Like, I'm Raiders for life, dude. I hate everybody. And so it's just been hate on the entire NFL. I like the players. I give love to the players. But if you play on a different team, hate. I can't even go visit other teams. I start cringing. I got to put some Raiders draws on when I go. They be giving me the gear. I'll be like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
Burn that shit. Yeah.
Now I take a player signed jersey, but don't give me no team gear. Ooh, don't give me no other people team. I give it to my homeboys. Give me that Raider shit, man.
Yeah, facts. We just had Seawood on last week, and he literally just talked about the Tuck rule and how everything happened and transpired, and it's crazy. I still to this day, like, that's one of like the biggest like what ifs. If you beat, I mean, it should have been a win against the Patriots, and how that would have changed history. It's crazy.
History, bro. We would have had about 6, but now it's time. Now it's time. Yeah, that curse is now over. We got Tom Brady. We got Tom Brady over there as an owner. I checked out Tom. I checked him out. And I know me and Tom got good winning pedigree because the year before they won the championship, I was catching football routes for him when he was thinking about coming back. So I spent the whole day running routes for Tom Brady. I was like, oh, yeah, he coming back. Tampa Bay going to win it.
That's crazy.
So me and Tom Brady got good chemistry. That means we bringing all that good juju to this Raider Nation.
Hey, man, you got to come to all the games. You already know. I got the box, so you come stay with the family.
Man, I'm trying to be how Gilly the Kid was for Philly.
There you go. Get you a big ass hat.
No, real shit. The big ass hat in the parking lot.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do it like that. We ain't gonna clown. We ain't gonna be clowns with it. But the same passion and energy.
Elite energy. Gilly is hilarious.
He's hilarious.
He is, bro. Hey, before we slide to the Mount Rush, I have to ask this question because we've been debating this back and forth, left and right. But could Shaq's the most dominant player ever, right? You'd say that? Yeah. Okay, do you think nowadays with Joker, what would that matchup look like? And would it be fair for someone in here to say that Joker would give Shaq that work?
Fucking out your mind. Hey, dude, it ain't enough fouls on any team in the NBA. Man, the whole team foul out. Man, what? You fouling out? What you talking about work? Bro, you about to foul out. You about to foul out. You gonna foul out. Aaron Gordon gonna foul out. Westbrook, like, man, come on, man. Can you imagine them? They gonna be jumping on Shaq back. Westbrook be flying, trying to jump.
Punch him in the back of the head.
Literally. You out your damn mind.
Bro, you ain't never. Hey, if you ever see Shaq on the court, when you see Shaq walk on the court, right? You like, we lost.
Which version you got?
Who the is gonna stop this big man?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, this is the best. Like, not like, you know how he look, he big in like a suit and you see him like on 10. Man, imagine when he put that uniform on.
Yeah.
Dinosaur.
But Shaq was so cool to me.
Dinosaur.
Every time we played the Lakers, he knew I was from LA, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I know you from LA. I'm gonna let you go and get off. I ain't gonna try and hurt you. You know, you just do your thing. You know, challenge Kobe." I was like, "Okay." So I had some good games against the Lakers and Shaq because Shaq allowed me before the game. I had to ask his permission. Can I go to the hole without you, ending my life? So the Shaq Joker thing, I mean, Joker is dope.
Joker's insane.
Joker is insane. We've never seen a center like him. He's revolutionized the position similar to Shaquille O'Neal. Right, but when we talking about Shaq, bro, it's not enough fouls. You don't have enough fouls.
Yeah, you're gonna have to double him every time.
Who's gonna guard Shaq?
Yeah, you got to double him. Literally.
Who with who?
I don't know.
Little.
I mean, Aaron Gordon's the best bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to play DeAndre Jordan and Joker. And they're gonna be fouling Shaq, and he's still gonna. Man, I'm telling you, dude. They used to jump on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Jack had it bad, dude. They used to jump on his back and grab his arm so he couldn't come up.
It's a dinosaur, bro.
And when he had that dunk and he shoved what's his name into the
you, elbow you, he mean. Like he ain't going for none of that. Let somebody get off. Why you think wasn't nobody really getting off on Shaq? Look what he did to Yao. Shaq will square off on you.
No.
Oh, excuse me. I ain't mean to really hit you, but Blade, let me take one in the tunnel. Shaq, Shaq is not, he's a great guy. But like on that court, dude, okay, you piss Shaq off. Bro, you piss Shaq off and see what happens.
I respect the shit out of that, though. You don't see enough of that nowadays. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, you just mentioned it. He kind of got a little bit of that, but he doesn't have the skill set of Shaq.
Bro, that would be a gnat on an elephant. Like he could foul Shaq. Hey, bro, he could foul Shaq as hard as he wanted to foul him.
He was too big, bro.
Man.
He was too
Shaq
big.
Was doing this think about it. Antonio Davis, Dale Davis. You got Yao Ming. You got David Robinson. Like Patrick Ewing. You got Charles. You got dudes who are mean. Otis Thorpe. Like these dudes were mean.
They couldn't do shit with him.
Mean.
Nothing.
You walk in the game like, goddamn, dude. I know I'm going to foul out today.
That's classic. That is classic.
That's the best answer I could have asked for.
Yeah, I know Darian's fired up about it. We were just debating it a couple days ago, but I love it. So we're going to end this off with our Mount Rush. So we do a segment we call Mount Rush where, obviously we have guests from all different walks of life and sports and everything like that. But for you, we're debating. We're like, what do we do? Do we do UCLA legends? Who's your Mount Rush for UCLA? But honestly, I'm just sitting here thinking, and, we've talked a lot about the Warriors. So I want to go in that direction. So who is your Mount Rushmore of Golden State Warriors all time?
Ooh.
And you can include yourself. So that is an option.
I made it. I don't think I made the cut.
Oh, man.
Let's hear it. Your top four.
Alvin Adams.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
No question.
Rick Barry.
Legend. The underhand free throw. He invented the Jackie Moon.
The Jackie Moon.
Mm-hmm.
You can say Chris Mullin.
I was going to say Mullins. He might have to be in there.
Nate Thurman. That's another one. Who else? Mitch Richmond.
I was going to say Mitch Richmond's another one. It's hard to leave him off.
Mitch Richmond, Hall of Famer. Wilt.
I mean, you can't debate that. Can't debate that.
No Clay, top 75 player all time. No, didn't he get snubbed from that actually?
Klay Thompson. That was next.
Yeah, Clay,
Draymond Green. Then you got Tim Hardaway. I mean, after the champions, then you can put me right. You can put me out right after Clay and Dre. I probably fit in. I'm probably top 5, top 10, maybe.
For sure.
But in I would say, you always pay respect to Al Attles because he did it. Steph Curry because he's the legend. Rick Barry because he was a unicorn.
Yeah.
And Chris Mullin because he was one of the greatest to put, he put Golden State on the map with Mitch Richmond right behind.
Oh yeah, that's some legends right there.
Yeah,
definitely some legends. I want to. We usually end with the Mount Rush, but I want to add this in as the last question. But I forgot it earlier. But who was your toughest matchup? The guy you had to match up against in the NBA during your career?
All right, Max. Here's the thing. I had to guard D Wade, Tony Parker, Steve Nash, then Kobe. Then Gilbert Arenas, then Chris Paul, and a Darren Williams.
Rondo too is in there.
Yeah, I'm sweating already, dude. I'm about to have anxiety.
I was gonna say you just named 10 Hall of Famers. Shit.
I'm about to have nightmares. All them fools was good. Allen Iverson, I would say Allen Iverson was the toughest to guard. Because he always, and Chris Paul too, and Nash, anytime a person has the ball 80% of the time in their offense and they are the motor that makes the offense go, right, then it's difficult. Iverson, you just couldn't touch him. He was so little. And I was a bigger guard. So anytime there was contact or I try to cut him off and hit him, I get in fouls trouble. Chris Paul, 150 pick and rolls. Steve Nash, run all around.
Yeah. Fact.
Tony Parker, oh my God, people don't give Tony Parker enough credit too. He was very, very hard to guard. One of the best finishing point guards in NBA history. So, D Wade hit a game winner on me in the playoffs. D Wade was tough to guard. But I would probably say, obviously, somebody like a Kobe would probably be. Sam Cassell was tough to guard. Golly.
Some dudes.
Yeah, that's a tough one, dude, because
there's a lot.
Darren Williams line up, somebody going to get 20. Yeah. Bro. Yeah, if somebody averaged 20, they're going to get their 20.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? One way or another, free throws, whatever you got to do. It's like Harden in Houston. 40 or 50. Yeah, he's getting his 30 regardless. You know what I mean? It's different. Yeah. No doubt.
Damon Stoudemire had 53 on us, and I think Nick Van Exel had 42. Damn. And it was me and David Wesley in the backcourt. And one got hot, and they was like, yo, BD, get him. And then the other one got hot. And, bro, they was just laughing and taking turns and shit like, my bad, BD. We wasn't even going to play hard tonight. Can you imagine, Max, getting your ass kicked? And the dude was like, man, before the game, what you on? Nothing, man. Go on here. You got it. You're like, man, we about to win. I'm about to get busy. And then you just getting your pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew. Ah, dude, I was tight. We won the game. But I'll never forget that because I was like, man, I'm not falling for that. No more. No more.
They tried to undersell, come out there sparking. Different.
That's funny.
That's different. That's classic, though. Well, shit, we're going to wrap it up. But we appreciate you, man, taking the time. Obviously, you're a big part of Raider Nation, and I appreciate all the support, just on a friend-to-friend basis. Yep. It's all love always. And, yeah, we'll definitely be connecting soon. Like we talked about, we got to go to the Clippers playoffs, together.
Yeah, let's do that.
That's a must. And we'll definitely be seeing you soon at some Raiders games. So we appreciate you taking the time, man. You're an absolute legend, brother.
Appreciate you guys, man. Big love.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right, we'll tap in soon, bro. We appreciate it.
Let's go,
Raiders. Yes, sir.
Let's win, baby.
Walk up in this bitch yeah, I'm really him.